this is your second placement.
Yes.
Last time you guys were here for 2 weeks. This time you guys were here for 4, the whole month.
The whole month.
Yeah. What was that like?
Different.
It was different. To be honest, at this time, it was a little bit more intense for sure because of the hours. We were coming here 8 hours a day instead of 6. And this time also we were able to train clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something different than what we did last time.
Yeah.
So training clients, having the first experience of being a personal trainer, it's way different than just watching, right?
Yeah.
I remember that training my first client, you said to me they were not able to hear you.
Yeah.
And that was funny.
Talk louder. Yeah.
Exactly, to speak louder, and there's so many things that you don't think about when you're training, and I think that helped me a lot, that experience too.
Yeah, because for your first time, you're trying to focus on the client and so many different things, right? You don't really think about what you're doing.
Exactly.
I've been thinking about back when I first started working as a trainer, and once I started working for a bit, what the job entails is kind of totally different from what I expected it to be. Did you guys feel the same way now that you've been around us for a little longer?
So a lot of time people think when they think about a personal trainer, they expect a bulky person, lots of muscles, and it's super fit and it's go, 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 go.
Mm-hmm.
But what I have seen around, and this I noticed not only in this placement but my previous placement too, that everybody here, as a personal trainer, has a different personality. They bring different things to the table. Although they are all wonderful in their own ways, they have all their strengths and they have their own way of training clients. I think you cannot actually put a job description on a personal trainer because it's different. And I think as trainers, we have to be very adaptable to the days and the personalities, the people are coming with. I mean, someone's having a bad day, someone having a good day. Oh, I woke up with a headache. I had a good weekend. It was very hectic. So I think you have to switch it up a little bit. You have to sometimes tone it down. Sometimes you have to bring out your most cheerful self. So it's a lot more than what you look like. It's a lot more than what you have to give out, mentally too. And for that reason, for all the personal trainers out there, I will say that it's important that you take care of yourself also, because it can become exhausting sometimes when you are, taking sessions after sessions and seeing everybody's form and doing things and arranging equipment. It kind of takes toll on you too, because you have to listen and reciprocate to people, not only being there physically, but mentally too. So it's on the side note, please take care of yourself.
You said
sleep is very
already.
important.
Yeah, for sure.
Self-care and sleep is very important.
I think that for a person that is just starting as a personal trainer, I think it's going to be harder than another one that has been training for a while, because it takes time to create a clientele, right? So usually one person has to be having another job while they're training, and that could be exhausting, but I think that's part of the process, right? And that gives you the discipline a personal trainer needs to be someone that can teach someone else what to do, and a way of living at the end, right?
Yeah, and another thing that makes it more difficult for trainers at the beginning, mentally, and mostly mentally, but physically as well, is because it takes a lot more kind of brain power at first, right? With all the little things that you have to pay attention to. Whereas a lot of those things, it's kind of second nature to me at this point. So I don't have to consciously think about those things. It just happens. So yeah, it can be quite draining. A lot more draining for you guys versus me in terms of an energy expenditure sort of thing. So
I don't know
so
how
when
you do that, seriously. You're like a superhuman to me.
yeah, so when you start training people, if it feels exhausting and you're thinking, oh, how am I supposed to do this every day the rest of my life? Just know it does get easier. It's not always going to feel that hard.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that also it's not the same thing, I don't know, to be seeing someone train that actually like training them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because in that moment, like you're thinking in so many different things that time passes super fast. I think, for example, in the experience that when I was training clients, I felt that the time passed like this, like it was just 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, is this over already? So I don't know if that happens to you, that you feel that time flies when you're training, but for me at least it did. So that was something that I really like.
Yeah.
Because, for example, when I was doing like a desk job, something like that, I used to think that the hours was going very, very, very slow.
Yeah.
But here, because you're moving, you're thinking in so many things, it goes super fast, and I think that's very helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, another thing is like when you're just starting out with a new client, it also takes more energy because you're getting to know them as well, right? And figuring out, okay, what's the plan for this person. Whereas for me, again, a lot of my clients I've had for several years now, and I know them, so that also takes a lot of thinking out of it. Not that I'm not thinking about their program. But I know where they've gone, what they're capable of. So it's less energy on my part as well to kind of progress them.
I think that's super true. Like I didn't think about that, but yeah, I think you get to know your client. Mm-hmm. I had the chance to train a client for around 6 weeks in the program where I was studying, and yeah, I felt that in the first 2 sessions it was super hard, and the other ones were like a little bit easier. And I was actually happy to see the progression that they were making too, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's a really good part also of being a personal trainer. I bet that you training like more than how many years have you been training already?
More than 10 now.
More than 10 years. Like you have clients that you have seen the progression.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the most like the better things that you can take as a personal trainer. I don't know what you think, Azba.
No, that's absolutely true. I mean, initially you do need to spend more time. So like simpler exercise also might take more time because you got to explain the setup, and then you might have to switch weights, you might have to switch equipments according to where they stand. Plus there is a lot of cueing and correction for them to understand the motion. So simple body weight motion can also be like tough. So yeah, it does take a lot of time because you have to explain to them, but that's the base. If you build up from that and the foundation is strong, it gets easier for them to progress, and it's also concerning the safety of them too. So if you have like a strong base, they are safe, and the training then gets easier and more efficient, and also you are also able to progress, safely. That's it. I mean, you do have to take more time initially in the first few sessions. So but the key is that you have to be very assured about your own training program as a new trainer also. Okay, that you're going to go through this things, not like in terms of not being flexible, but in terms of, okay, I want to cover at least these things in this particular time, and then build from there. Because it's a good use of a half-hour session, and you have to eventually start building, because you have to show them like what they're capable of too, right? If you just stick to the things and little knickknacks, you have to let things go too and move on. So that's important too. So take time, but don't like fall too deeply into that.
Yeah, and Azba, I think, so you were trained and worked as a physiotherapist in India before coming here, and I think that's where you were kind of coming from with the way you answered that question, right? So what kind of things have you had to consider or change based on your physiotherapy background that you have to kind of take in as a trainer now?
So the thing is that having a clinical background and very in-depth understanding of anatomy, physiology, neurology, everything else puts me in spot in this environment, because I have to step away from all those intricate details and fall into a place where I can look at body as whole and can train the body as whole. So for example, I would rather train a bench press here than treating only the rotator cuff, or only strengthening the small muscles, or focusing on this, or focusing on joint stability. So the thing here is that I don't see it as, I kept saying myself that, oh, I have to unlearn these things, or I have to unlearn these things. I think it put me in a difficult situation more. Instead, I have now started thinking that I might have to integrate these things in a way that helps me, work on strength to endurance to help them lift weight too, and work on stability too. And fortunately, I have been surrounded by so many talented personal trainers here that I have been able to witness that too. I mean, big movements, weights, but they are still working on all the functions a joint has to do, a receptor has to do, and your brain has to do. So I have been very fortunate. So I have started shifting my perspective, because I'll be starting, working here soon. So I want to have a positive mindset and a good foot forward. So integrating is like something I'm learning. So learning something new instead of unlearning what I have learned so far, because I think that those details, those understanding would eventually help me in long run. I may be more detailed in my program, but I think it's a good thing if I would be able to integrate that. So having that concepts in my head is not a bad thing. I kept thinking that, okay, I have to get rid of these things, but it's not like that. So I turned around it a little bit. I mean, I started thinking it as a perspective of a personal trainer rather than a physical therapist. So yeah, that was a little bit of change for me, and I'm glad. I mean, Vanya was here, Victoria was here to help me out to understand that, and they gave me a lot of confidence. And Sean too came and gave me a really broad perspective on things, and I'm really thankful that I'm surrounded with so many talented people.
We already hired you, Azba. You don't have to say that. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just more tools within your toolbox, right? And it's learning how to integrate which tool with each client at which time. Because, yeah, it's just having that understanding of when and where to use those.
Yeah, and I actually wanted to ask you, Vanya, in these 10 years that you have been training, what do you think is the best skill, or the skill that you have to work the most to be a better trainer? Like you said, this is the most important thing in these 10 years.
Yeah. That's a tough one, Diego.
Yeah.
How do I synthesize 10 years of experience?
That
I'll
you
have
say,
to think about this.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to put you in another way. If someone that wants to become a trainer comes and tells you, okay, just tell me one thing that I must learn to be the best trainer that I can be, what will you say to that person?
I would say to never be complacent and always just keep learning, and just, I guess, stay humble. Because even though I've been working as a trainer for 10 years now, I still feel like I can learn something from everybody, even you guys. Because yes, there is the knowledge of exercise, helping people move better and all that. But with personal training, there's so much that goes into working one-on-one with your client as well. There's the psychology side of things, learning about them as people, being able to build that relationship, communication. So, just because somebody may be a better trainer, more experienced, they may not necessarily be the best for one particular person because of all those other factors.
Yeah.
Right? So, even things like learning about different cultures and how they interact, how, what kind of different things they value, learning more about that will help you, with your experiences with a specific client.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just learning from everybody, not just about exercise, but yeah, you're working with people, right? So learning as much about people and how to deal with people.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, keep that in mind if you want to become a trainer.
Yeah, like Diego, learning how to deal with your Latino energy and.
Yes. Okay, now I'll ask one question too.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah. Oh, actually, before your question, Azba, I'll give Diego the spotlight and explain he wore something special for today.
Ah, yes, it's a special day. Like Vanya told me we were going to do this podcast. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna wear a special shirt. So this, I love Argentina. That's not my home country, but I love Argentina. I love soccer, and they won the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup in 2012. So 4 months ago, since we're recording this, and they put a new star on the Argentina shirt. So
Yeah. So explain what the stars mean, because I didn't know this.
yeah, exactly. So every time a country wins the World Cup, they get one star in their shield. We can say that, and Argentina now has three. And it was the last time they got one. It was in the 80s. So yeah, that's why I'm wearing this special shirt. For me, it means a lot. I'm super happy that Argentina won the World Cup in April 2023. So I'm happy.
Yeah. So is it safe to say you're a Messi over Ronaldo fan?
For sure, like the name written here, it's Messi. It's not Ronaldo.
You gotta specify.
Exactly. For sure, Messi. Always Messi.
Yeah.
Messi is the best in the
Messi,
football history. We never know.
Okay.
Yeah, you can ask your question now.
Yeah.
That's what.
Okay. So in 10 years of being a personal trainer, what is your most favorite and least favorite part of it?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it
being
is.
a personal trainer.
You guys are putting me on the spot.
Yes,
I wasn't prepared
like
for
we're
this.
having like a talk show this
Yes.
Okay. Okay, tell us.
Yeah, I think my favorite part is just being able to meet so many different people and building those relationships with people. Because I just like learning about people, their stories, how they grew up, how they got to where they got. And I feel really lucky because I feel like I learn as much from clients' experiences as much as I'm, I guess, teaching them to improve their health and get them to where they need to be. And what's the worst?
Not the worst. The
Or
least
something.
favorite. Yeah, the least
favorite.
favorite.
Yeah.
No, don't call it worst.
Yeah, no, least favorite.
Oh.
Do you have something that popped up, Azba?
What are you gonna say? She was gonna be rude with me, I think, right?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I'm not. I was gonna say, I think the least favorite part would be, like
Early mornings?
No, like early
That's
mornings
one,
and time
yeah.
too. Like I have a habit of taking like really long naps. So even if I get like free around 2, I will sleep till 6, and then so my schedule time like gets split off. I don't know if that's a problem with everybody else too, or it's just maybe I am just
I think
young, too young for this.
yeah.
I don't know. But Vanya, is that your least favorite part too?
No,
She's very happy, I guess, with that.
yeah.
Yeah, she's very
I would
happy.
say, okay, I'm going to change your question a little bit. So instead of saying what my least favorite is,
Less
I would
favorite?
say maybe
Something that
is difficult or most difficult to work
Okay.
around.
That's a good one.
Yeah, is like unlike a scheduled job where, you come in, you perform your tasks in a set amount of time and then you get to go home. As a personal trainer, there's a lot of self-motivation that's involved because there's a lot of work that goes into being a personal trainer that goes outside of your one-on-one sessions with your clients.
Yeah, true.
Right? So things like taking the time to keep learning, doing more research, and making sure that you're up to date on all your information. It's impossible to know everything about the human body. So there's always stuff to learn. And then, just the little extras like emailing your clients, keeping track of them if, they've been MIA for a bit, because that accountability is what they're paying for, right? Making sure that they're coming in to see us regularly. Yeah, and all the boring stuff like programming, emails, that stuff, which is annoying to do, but is important to stay on top of.
Yeah, because your training does comes like with you have to be responsible for somebody's body and their health. So
Mhm.
it is quite important that, so there's a lot of aftermath involved beyond the sessions. So that can be like difficult to handle because on days you have taken like, you have been working 8 hours a day, you have been seen 16 people already, and then you have to go back home and plan it for the next day.
Yeah.
It can be a little bit of exhausting, that I would agree.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's easy in between clients to just go, oh, I'm gonna just take a nap and rest. Or I'm just gonna go home and watch TV
Yeah.
and not doing anything else.
Oh my
But
Yeah, that's true.
I thought one year was gonna say my least favorite part is placement students.
Oh, that's why. Placement students. Oh my god.
no, I really actually enjoy teaching, so this is fun for me.
Ah, see?
Yeah.
See, that's why she's a trainer.
Yeah.
No, you know that I thought you were gonna say something that I have in these 4 weeks is when, I don't know, when someone doesn't show up and they don't tell you anything.
Yeah.
And you have everything planned and now you're like, okay, I had to, well, I guess you can start doing something else,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little annoying, but it's like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Did you have a moment in these 10 years where you were like, okay, no, I'm done training. I don't want to train anymore. Or in these 10 years, you've been like always positive. That's a
Yeah,
very,
maybe during COVID, it was like
okay.
hard, but yeah, like I can't really imagine doing anything else at this point either. So
Yeah.
This is my life, I have accepted.
exactly. Yeah,
No, but that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
like
Yeah.
what else am I gonna do? Get
Exactly.
some desk job?
Never.
No.
Don't recommend it.
Look at winners?
No.
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 Do you like training clients online?
I don't mind it. Again, it was different and weird at the start, but I was actually surprised at how well I could still, see how they moved and be able to cue them the way I needed them to. But yeah, it took a lot of experimenting and communication with the client as well, being like, okay, I need you to position your camera a certain way now so that I can see what I need to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then because you can't touch them, obviously, through a computer screen, I really needed to improve on like my verbal cueing. So learning how to tell them what I needed them to do. Because
without
like
touching
I'm
them,
yeah,
or without
exactly.
showing them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I touch people a lot, right? You've probably noticed, and it's like, I need you to do this.
And she
Exactly.
And she can scream and yell, "You are doing this."
Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't yell at them.
No,
like that.
she does not. I think Vanya is one of the most calmest trainer I have ever seen. But I have noticed it with trainers that the more they get experience, the more calm they get.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
How
You
is
just
that?
get better at
Like-
staying calm on the outside, and
I think they
In-
zone out
yeah.
for whatever reason. No, I do feel that. I mean, the more experience the trainer gets, the more they're like calm and zen mode, all the
Mhm.
time. If you would see me training a client, I would be like going all over the place. That day I was training somebody, I think it was Victoria's client, and everybody was like trying to get past through me, and everybody was like apologizing to me while they were moving around me. And I was not moving even a bit, giving them a little bit of space. I was so focused on my training. I was so nervous that I was not giving anybody space to even go around.
Yeah.
So it was just, well, I don't know.
I think it depends. It depends on the people personality too, right?
Yeah.
I think you're a little bit more introvert than other people
Mhm.
because, for example, Catherine, she moves a lot and she has been training for a lot too. But for example, Mike is a little bit calm too, so I don't know.
You're not calm.
Maybe you're right.
No, you're not calm.
Huh?
You're not
No,
calm.
Mike.
Mike?
Uh-huh.
Mike is
Calm,
calm.
yeah.
Mike is
Yeah,
very
see.
calm.
Mhm.
But I feel Vanya is like super calm.
It is. She is. She
I
is
think
calm.
Vanya is super
Yeah. Took a lot of work to get this calm, but.
Yeah,
Mm.
she's not like okay.
Mhm.
Maybe if you were back to when you just started training, what advice would you give to yourself, or what motivation words would you give to yourself?
Yeah, that everything will be okay.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah. Azba, directed to you.
Everything will be okay. Yeah.
You're fine.
Vanya's gonna leave us for a month. I'm so nervous about it.
You're nervous about me leaving for a month on
Oh
vacation?
my god.
You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay.
You're gonna be
She
okay.
just said.
Yeah.
She just said it. So don't worry.
Imagine me writing an email to Vanya at the end of it, and Vanya's like, "You're gonna be okay."
Yeah.
See? See? Trust
No,
yourself.
I don't want an answer, bro. I want something else from her.
Okay. What else would you say to her then?
What else? I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Let's hope that day doesn't come though.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You're both fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I guess final question.
Okay.
Do you feel ready?
Oh, for me? Okay.
You were about to speak, so go ahead.
Oh, that's the question.
Yeah. Do you feel
Mhm.
ready?
Do you feel ready?
Are you a personal trainer?
In some sense, yes. The other things, like a little bit scary. But I have noticed that even when I started working before, there were a lot of things I didn't knew, and I am very confident in myself that I will learn it, because at the end of the journey, at every place I have worked, I have come out better and stronger in my skills and knowledge and everything else. So I know right now it seems a little bit scary and stuff like that, but this time I'm not freaking out. I know I was literally freaking out when I started working at my other jobs and stuff, but I'm very calm this time because I know with time I would be able to figure it out. So yeah, I do feel ready. I mean, this is what I signed up for, this is what I studied for, this is what I worked for, and I think I am capable enough to handle a few people and make them work out.
And you're not alone. You
Yeah,
have us.
yeah, of course. So I'm
That's a very good
very
advantage.
safe.
Yeah, for me, to be honest, as I always tell you, Vanya, as a joke, I'm never ready.
Uh-huh.
But I think that always happens to me. Like the first time I'm gonna do something, first time I'm gonna start a job, I never feel ready. But I think that over going with that fear that I have makes me always better. And I know that with practice, with time, I'm gonna feel ready. But as you said too, like I always need to have that mindset that I can always improve, right? So I just want to have that mindset for myself that I don't feel ready, and that's why I have to keep getting better. And that's at the end. That's the what I think, or the mindset that I want to have.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you both are ready. So.
Well, thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you for joining me on another podcast and sharing your thoughts and experiences.
Thank you, Vanya, for calling us back and giving us the opportunity again, right, to do a placement with you.
Yeah, I thought she hated us to have us as a student placement last semester, but she accepted us again.
What
so.
gave you that impression?
Exactly.
She was very calm all the time.
I'm not on this one.
I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. For me, it's a pleasure to be here. I feel very lucky that I had you as a mentor in this time. Hopefully I'm able to have you more time as a mentor. And yeah, it's
Have
a
you
pleasure.
applied yet?
Not yet, but I will. Yeah, I want to take my time, but yeah, I will. So thank you for having me here and for teaching me a lot of stuff. And it's a pleasure for me being invited in a podcast for this channel.
Yeah. Great. Yes. So yeah, Azba has been hired. She'll be working at the Wellington location evenings and weekends.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Diego, TBD.
Yeah, don't worry. I will apply.
You just have to DM them now.
Yeah.
Not Instagram. Just DM them.
I
Yeah.
will.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
worry. I don't like to, how do you say this?
Rush.
Rush.
Mhm.
Exactly. I like to take my time.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Have a good one. You started recording already?
Yeah.
Hey everyone. How's it going? Freeform Fitness? Yeah, they already know us,
They know
right?
you. You're famous
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Camera loves me.
Yes.